back. Sorry that
Good
dahil
afternoon.
kami ay silent for
Mm.
how many weeks, no? So,
Matagal-tagal din.
ayan. Kaya matagal-tagal din. So, welcome to episode 8 of Agam Mentality. Hi, Shops!
Hi, Cleo. So, ayun, kanina, maulan na tanghali meron dito sa Manila. So, ngayon naman, may araw na. So, that's how weird the weather here is. So, but then
Oo.
again, hello ulit sa'yo. And kung sino sa mga manunood nitong episode in the next couple of hours or days. So, hello sa inyong lahat.
Ayan. So, welcome. And salamat sa um, salamat at nagkaroon ulit tayo ng time.
Yes, salamat sa time.
Salamat sa time. Admittedly talaga, nagkaroon
Life
talaga tayo
takes
ng
over.
very busy days for the last couple of weeks. So, finally, we
Yeah.
decided to gawin natin ulit to. And
Mm-mm.
ano ba ang topic natin na pagchichikahan today?
Well, as you can see on your screen, meron dyan facts versus fiction. So we will not be just talking about one, not films rather. Nag-concentrate kami ni Cleo sa historical TV series, particularly the the Tudor period, if we are to summarize it.
Yeah.
So we will be talking about three TV series, facts, and fiction. So in other words, we will be looking at yung, yung historical accuracies and inaccuracies from those TV series. So if you've been following us ever since episode 1, you very well know na Cleo and I, that was one of the ways where we bonded and, became really good friends. It's
Mm-hmm.
because of our love and high interest in history,
Mm-hmm.
particularly in that period, the Plantagenets, the Tudor period, and of course, English history overall. That has a lot to do with kingdoms and
Yes.
empires and all those things.
Yes, that's right.
Right?
So, it's also a good discovery then. I was telling this to Shops last week that Curiosity Stream. I mean
Yeah.
that streaming site has done wonders. Ang daming documentaries that you can binge watch on. So it's pretty affordable for a year. I think it's around about 12 euros a year. So it's not that bad.
Oh, what I
Mura na
saw naman
siya.
was $1.67, I think, for the whole year. Kung di ako
Wow.
nagkakamali. Or, ay sorry,
Talaga.
monthly. Monthly
Monthly
yata,
yun.
monthly.
Oo.
Oo, monthly.
Oo. Di ba,
So,
hindi
hindi na
lang
masama
masama.
yun, guys.
And I've noticed that a lot of my high school classmates were also saying that it's their favorite. So, ang maganda talaga yan, lalo na if you are into learning and education, if you want to um, advance your knowledge about certain topics, it's a very good investment, kumbaga. Okay,
Right.
so like what Shop said, we will just be focusing on three period dramas na were staged during the Tudor period, which is something that, like what she said, something that we both share. Thank you sa mga nanonood. I can see that we have some people watching. Please stay with us until the very end, and I hope that you join us in the conversation.
Hello and
So,
welcome everyone.
yes.
Oh, I
So please.
forgot to add
Mm,
na kung sino man sa inyo, well, apart from you of course, I forgot to share this with you that I discovered a new podcast. So, una ko siya na-discover sa YouTube tapos
mm-hmm.
hinanap ko siya sa Spotify. It's called Tudor's Dynasty Podcast.
Uh-uh.
It's hosted by Rebecca Larson.
Mm-hmm.
So kung sino man sa inyo yung gusto mag-check out nun, just look for it on Spotify and it's on YouTube din. Lahat ng mga uploads niya on Spotify are also there.
Mm,
So it's a
okay.
very interesting podcast if you are of course into Tudor history and all that.
Anong title again?
Tudor's Dynasty
Tutors
Podcast.
Diary podcast. Okay, so you could
Yep.
also check that out. Ayun. So we'll just be focusing on three period dramas. Disclaimer, we might get very emotional with some of our
uh,
comments. So
a little sharp with our words.
baka maging masyadong sharp kami. And I know that there are some people that we know who watched the first one that we will talk about, and some of them
Yeah.
loved it. Okay, there's nothing wrong with watching that show.
Oo
That
naman,
show, there's nothing wrong. But of course, since we are, would you say that we are purists?
purists
Yeah,
in a way.
in a way, no?
Yes,
So in a way, 'di ba? So yun yung mga disclaimer lang namin. So why don't we go ahead and talk about the first one. Si-share ko lang screen ko.
go ahead.
Ayan. Ayan. So I'm sure a lot of people, or
Tanan!
some people, have watched this. It's called Rain. So
Mhm,
it's a TV show that focuses on the life of Mary Queen of Scots. Okay. Do you like Mary
yes.
Queen of Scots, Shops?
Yeah, I like her particularly because she's a charming woman, and I think in a way because of her being charming, it's easy for her to attract or gain admirers at the same time
Mm-hmm.
gain haters or see her or deem herself as a weak woman because but she was branded as a whore
Yeah.
and what do you call this as what do you call it, a philandering woman,
Mm-hmm.
but I attribute that to her being charming and she knows how to work her femininity
Yeah.
if that's how I choose to say it, so yeah, that's
Mhm.
why I like her.
Yeah, I like her. And of course, she was a very tragic figure. Kasi nga
Right.
ang sad ng ending niya.
Mm-mm.
But I think that she was this woman who was ruled by her heart, not her head.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
Right.
compared to her cousin Elizabeth the First, talagang politically savvy si Elizabeth. Etong si Mary
Oo.
was more emotional. She was um hindi siya, may well, I think it runs in the Tudor blood that both were really stubborn. So,
Given na
kasi
yan.
given na yan. Kasi they both share uh, was it a great grandfather. So both of them have a Henry the Seventh, the
The
first
seven.
Tudor king, as their ancestor. So talagang I think that's the Tudor temperament, yung pagiging overly passionate and stubborn. Okay,
True.
so I was very excited when this was announced. It was, I think, 2013. I was
Oh,
so
okay.
excited kasi it's the first time that I've heard of a TV series dedicated to Mary Queen of Scots. Kasi patapos na yung Tudors that time eh. So I said, oh,
Oh.
another series to binge watch on. Eh
Mm-mm.
kaso, ayun na nga. Nung lumabas siya, ay sus Mariang Ginoo. Okay. So why don't we go to the first historical inaccuracy? Alright, teka yan. So,
Okay.
ilalabas natin. So,
All right.
first historical inaccuracy. Do you want to read this one, Chops?
Yep. So Henry II and Catherine de Medici had 9 children together. In reality, there were 10. So there.
Ayan. So, dun sa show, 9 daw ang children nila together. Pero ang totoo, there were 10. And three of them became kings of France. Kasi namatay na maaga yung mga anak. So, yun. Kaya ganyan
Mm-mm.
nangyari. So,
Correct.
talagang, yun ang, again, sabihin ng mga tao, TV series naman yan eh, hindi naman yan documentary. I get that. But what's your take on that, Leon? Leon, ano ba yan, Shops?
Ano,
Sorry.
nami-miss mo na yung anak mo, ilang minuto lang yung nakakaraan ng 'di ba? So
Sorry.
anyway, ang inaanak ko ay nasa labas kasi kaya nami-miss na po ng
Na-miss ko agad.
nanay niya. So anyway, 'pag ang sa akin kasi, what draws me into a really good historical film or a series would be the accuracy. Okay,
Mhm.
why did I fall in love with the Harry Potter franchise? Kasi nakuha niya kung ano yung na-picture ko sa mind ko while I was reading the books.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing. It's the same charisma that I am expecting kapag may isang TV series na lumabas. Nung
Yeah.
una, well, later on, yung pagdating natin sa
Ay,
The
shoot.
Tudors,
Mhm.
pagdating natin dun sa Tudors, in a way, medyo hindi pa ako na-draw actually agad-agad dun sa
Yeah.
series na yun kasi parang may nakita akong off. Kasi unang-una sa lahat, I'm very particular about how Henry looks, how Henry
Mhm.
VIII looks. And
Yeah.
yung bida doon, wale eh. Alam
Oo.
natin 'yan. So, but
Yeah.
going to this, so the mere fact na sabihin mo or ilagay mo sa script na they only had 9 kids, that's already, you know, a point against pagdating sa pagdo-draw in ng crowd. Kasi if you want to appeal to a younger audience, kaya medyo 'di ba,
Yeah. Gossip
hippie-ish
Girl
and
is,
ano oo, Gossip Girl is yung atake kasi dito sa Rain. Eh lalong hindi mo tinuturo yung tama. Kasi una sa lahat, ano, fail ka na sa overall fashion of that said timeline eh. Eh
yes.
sa akin, yun ang importante. That's a number one for me. 'Di ba
Mm.
lagi kong ginagawang point of comparison yung Jose Rizal ni Marilu Diaz-Abaya. One of the really, really, very good historically accurate films from the costuming pa lang. Head on.
Mhm.
Wala akong pwedeng i-compare na talagang lumevel doon. But siguro Antonio Luna. Pero it
Yeah.
took many years bago may
Yes.
nag-emerge na, 'di ba, na
Mm.
makaka-level doon. So, yeah, that's my
Mm.
take.
That's true. And like what you've said, 'di ba? That's why you watch these series because it draws you back to that period. 'Di ba?
Totoo 'yan.
Yun yung pull. But the thing is, I think they
Mhm.
dumb down, which is
Dumb
something
down.
that seriously. Anyway, so they had 10 children. So parang 'di ba, in a way, paano naman yung ikasampu, 'di ba? Parang, parang inerase mo na lang siya sa
At the
history.
same time, 'di ba, papaano yung basehan mo, eh, 'di ba? Puwede mo namang sige, puwede na nating tanggapin na okay, mag-fashion-fashion kayo sa production
Mhm.
value, but whatever are written on the books, that's what you present. Cause at the end of the day, facts should remain facts.
Exactly. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Actually, guys, maraming historical inaccuracies dito. Nilimit na lang namin kasi baka umabot to ng 3 oras.
Oo,
So,
kaya baka abutin tayo na hanggang bukas. Charot.
okay. So, let's go to the next one. Ayan. So, yan. So, ano ba yung
Hmm,
susunod? Okay, I'll read it.
oh,
Francis
go.
has two illegitimate brothers and sisters, Clarissa and Sebastian. Sorry, two pala, two. In
Hmm,
reality, there were three. Ang sa Rain kasi, dito ako medyo nabuwisit. Um, Etong si I don't know if you could see it in my screen, but the guy on your right, that's Sebastian, or the nickname is Bash. So parang medyo pangalan pa lang, no off na ako. Sorry.
bash. They
Si
they they
Bash.
they made up a
Uh,
nickname.
they made up a nickname. Ang sabi sa series, Bash was the son of Henry II's mistress, si Diane de Poitiers. Pero ang totoo, wala silang, even if Diane became a mistress for the longest time, never sila nagkaanak. Pero Henry had three illegitimate children. Tapos yung Clarissa, hindi ko nilagay yung picture kasi nakakatakot yung itsura niya. Hindi totoo, nakakatakot yung itsura niya. So, si Clarissa daw, nung sa series, was the illegitimate daughter daw of Catherine de Medici. Which talagang,
Ah,
personality ni Catherine de Medici, sobrang obsessed siya sa asawa niya. Hindi, it's not in her nature na, look for love elsewhere. So, parang for me, that is already a minus.
mhm.
Yon. 'Di ba,
There you go.
nakakainis. Talagang ano daw, yung bash. Although, this
Nickname pa lang,
actor,
eh.
the actor Torrance Combe was also in the Tudors, and he's not a bad actor. Again, guys, magagaling naman yung, I don't say magaling lahat. I can only, umiikot
I
na naman ang mata
promise.
ko. Umiikot na naman ang mata ko. Pero, he was, I don't know, I think he's very good looking, and I think the CW, inisip ko nga sino ba producer? Oo nga pala, CW. They are known for hiring very good looking people kasi they produce Gossip Girl. Hey, but don't get me wrong, I like Gossip Girl. Tsaka Supernatural. Ayan, maganda yan.
Al
Yun.
alam ko top model sila din yung
Oo,
nag-ano, eh,
sila din.
nag-release, eh, oo.
Sila din. Pero I think they should leave period dramas alone talaga. Yun ang ano
Oo,
ko.
they should have.
They should. Okay. So let's go to the next historical inaccuracy. Oh my gosh. Etena. So
Oh,
sabi, ikaw, would you like to read this?
yeah, Mary grew up in a monastery and only met Francis in 1557 at the age of 15. This is not true. Okay, because the
Yes.
truth is what?
The truth is, hindi talaga dapat si Francis ang pakakasalan niya. She was engaged to Henry VIII's son, the future Edward VI. Sila talaga dapat. Kasi di ba nagwa-war ang England and Scotland, and to unite them, ipapakasal nila. Pero ang
Mhm.
nangyari was, I think after Henry died, so naging King si Edward, pinalak nung mga officials or mga ministers ni Edward, kidnapin si Mary. Ang ginawa tong mother ni Mary, whisked her off to France. So doon na na-arrange yung marriage niya with Francis. So hindi totoong lumaki siya sa monastery, utang na loob. Sorry, nagagalit na ako. Ayan na.
So ayan na nga.
Nagagalit
Siguro
na
there
ako.
was there was some so ayan na. Hindi ko alam kung nag-hire ba sila ng researchers or what not. But again, so Mary, to those who have no idea who Mary is, well, marami pong Mary sa history. Marami pong Mary sa history. So itong si Mary ay taga Scotland, okay? Tapos
Mhm.
si Edward na tinutukoy namin ay yung taga England na eventually napakasal kay Catherine of Aragon, who later became ano, the wife of Henry VIII. Tama, 'di ba?
Oo. Pero yung pakakasalan niya dapat yung anak ni Henry ha. Henry and Jane
Oo.
Seymour na.
Yung anak na pala ni ano,
Yung
sorry
anak na.
mali. Yung
Oo,
anak na unfortunately nategi because of
nategi.
sickness.
Mm.
Oo. So, 'yun. Kaya siya napakasal dun sa ano na, dun
Sa
sa
French.
French
French.
king.
Sa French na sa ano, Dauphin. Ayan.
Dauphin? Yes.
Dauphin is the crown prince eh. Ayun, 'di ba?
Mm-mm.
So they grew up together kaya they became really good friends.
Mm-mm.
And she was sent there I think when she was around 10 years old or younger. So nagkakilala sila ni Francis as children and they became close. They became really good friends. Dito kasi ginawa silang teenager. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Ayan na naman yun. Ayan, teka. So, let's go to the next one. Ayan. Para hindi na ako masyado mainis. So, doon tayo sa kabila. Teka ha. Nasaan na to? Ba't nag-aanis?
Sige,
Itong app.
just
Ayun. Okay. Ayan.
medyo kailangan ng force ni mouse.
Oo. Ni Mouse, oo. Okay, nasaan na siya? Yeah. Ayan. Sino siya? So, ako na magbabasa nito.
Oo.
Si Nostradamus. But totoo na it's true that Nostradamus was in the French court kasi Catherine de Medici was one of his patronesses. So, isa siya sa
Yeah.
mga supporters ni Nostradamus. She really admires him so much. Pero sa series, pinamukha siyang young and hunky. Ang
'Di
totoo
ba
niyan,
parang, ah,
siguro to attract nga. To
oo.
attract viewers. Kasi, kung matanda nga naman na ilagay mo dyan, baka nga naman hindi. Kasi when he was in the French court, he was already in his 50s.
Oh, exactly. So,
So,
alam mo yun,
parang,
parang si Rasputin, ganyan. Well, si Rasputin was around 40s yata
ah, 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 ah,
when he was when tama, the queen was was smitten by his
or,
powers.
oo, diba? Pero, but I think it wouldn't really, sa akin lang ha, siguro if they've hired maybe a more mature actor to play Nostradamus,
Totoo.
it wouldn't it wouldn't be hindi naman siya magiging bad, I think.
Pero this guy is too young to be a
Yeah, too
sage or
young.
to be, to play a wizardy guy. Alam mo yon. And we all
Oo.
know how, the image of Nostradamus that was painted on our heads,
Long hair,
is
beard,
bearded and then pushing 70s na or 'di ba?
tanda na siya.
Talagang oldie na. Oo.
Oo. So again, my thinking here is maybe they wanted to attract younger audiences nga. Kaya ginawa
Mm.
nilang ano, young and hunky si ano, Nostradamus.
Pero at the end
Ayan,
of the day, ex pa rin siya sa'tin. So, let's
oo.
move on na
Oo, I'm
sa
I'm
next.
sorry, sa next one, eto dito ka mabibwisit, Shops.
Oh, kasi medyo ano pa 'to, eh, kering-keri ko pa, eh.
Ayan, oh,
Oh,
ayan.
ayan, ayan,
Ayan,
ayan.
ayan, ayan,
Okay, let me
ayan.
say something before I read what's
Ah,
on the screen.
mm.
Okay, if you were to look at this photo, you wouldn't even think that it came from a period series, and it's an abomination. Parang kung titignan mo, ay ano siya, parang screen grab or ano, or photo from
Prom,
a film or a series, mga ano, prom goers 'tong mga ineng na
homecoming.
'to. So, homecoming, ganyan. But apparently, okay, what's written here is Mary's ladies in waiting, Greer, Kenna, Lola, and Ailey.
Ailey, I don't know.
Ailey, in reality, Mary came to France with four other Marys, well, which is one of the most common names during that period. So, yung
Yes.
mga Kenna na yan, Lola, Ailey, Greer, mga gawa-gawa lang po ng mga writers nila just to distinguish siguro, just to establish
Yeah.
difference siguro. But then
Mhm.
again, why don't you just say Mary from blah 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 and basta ayoko, iinis ako.
Or maybe they could have used names from that period.
Oo, Mary Elizabeth, 'di ba?
Or kung gusto niya puro M, di
Martha,
Mary,
Matilda,
Margaret, Martha, Matilda, ano pa ba?
oo,
Um,
'di ba?
oh,
Hmm,
oh, Matilda, ayun, Matilda, ayan, 'di ba? Or pwede
Matilda,
nag-say, or kung ayaw niyo yung gano'n, if you want to stay true to it, you could say Mistress Seymour,
oo,
um,
'di ba?
Mistress Smith, if they all have the same names. Kasi ganyan, ganyan nangyayari, I think, in the Tudor court, since marami nga silang mga magkakatukayo. They would say Mistress
Mm.
Seymour, Mistress Mistress Shelton. So at least na
Mm.
distinguish kung sinong Mary ba yon o kung sino Margaret o kung sino mang Elizabeth yon.
Yes.
I know it's very unimaginative of parents back then to come up with
Oo,
names, but they usually name their children from saints or
oo.
kung sino yung ruling monarch or kung sino yung queen or kung sino man higher official, they name their children after those people. Kaya, yeah, it may sound unimaginative, pero please, utang na loob. Greer, Kena, Lola, Ailey. Oh, diba?
Parang, ha?
My gosh. And the dresses, I swear, it's like homecoming. Homecoming
Right.
2021. But don't get us wrong,
Totoo.
ha? Maganda yung dresses. The dresses are beautiful, but not of the period. I'm sorry. Ayun. So, ayan siya, 'di ba? Maganda sana kaso hindi talaga siya from that period. So,
Mm.
ayun na. Okay. Ano yung susunod natin? Hintayin natin siya. Ayan. O, 'di ba? Ang gwapo niya. So I'll read this. So Francis II looks very healthy and mature in the TV series, but in fact he was very small and stuttered, weak in mind and body. Talaga ano siya, he's a very small child, very sickly. Pero sa series ginawa siyang hunky. Ayan na naman yung hunky.
Mm.
Yun. And he
Parang,
died
ha?
early. He died because of ano parang if I'm not mistaken, it must have been tuberculosis or other form of illness. Pero sa series, namatay daw si Francis from a blow on the head, trying to save
Mm.
Mary. Parang yun daw. Yun daw yung
Totoo ba?
ikinamatay niya. Hindi. Inamatay. He was, hindi. Ginawa lang
Yung
siguro
pagkasabi mo
very,
hindi, heroic ganyan or ano, parang
it's
Prince
not,
Charming-ish.
it's not very heroic. He died. Of course, he was a very weak child. So, syempre during that time, wala naman tayong advances in medical technology. So,
Mm.
talagang nategi bombshell agad si Francis II. Ayun.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, okay. If you look for his photo, he doesn't look as handsome as this guy.
Mhm.
Yon. Pero, yun nga, Kasi I think there was one TV series, The Spanish Princess. The actor they got to play Prince Arthur, kamukha nung painting, Neng. Sabi ko sa'yo,
Talaga ba?
kamukha nung painting. Kaya sabi ko, ay, bagay sa kanya maging Prince Arthur. Yun. Pero dito kay
Mhm.
Francis the Second, wait. Ayan. So, stop. Katapos ni Francis, sino na ba? Ayan. Ay, teka. Ayan, ito. Ayan. Ito na, Shops. Gusto mong basahin?
Ay, Diyos ko, nakakaloka. Meredith Markwork Polak is responsible for the costumes of the series. Hang her! Bitayan si ate.
May tayo si Ate. Ang sabi niya, she took inspiration daw. She took
From
inspiration
what?
daw.
From what period? The
Eh,
2000s?
parang sabi niya, she took the elements daw and put it in, parang nag-source daw sila ng mga damit. Ah, I cannot recall kung sino yung vlogger na yon, but she was a costume designer. May isa siyang na-research na ang sabi daw, ewan ko kung totoo ha, hindi raw ganun kalaki ang budget for the costumes. So,
Okay.
ang ginawa nila, they source daw from, yung parang off the racks. Nag-off
Oo.
the racks sila. Eh, off the racks, pero mga Oscar de la Rente, eh, ang mahal din. Sana ginamit mo na lang yung pera gumawa, look for a play or a company that could rent out period costumes. Eh,
'Di
parang,
ba ang mahal ng Oscar de la Renta, and it's a signature brand. Hindi
oo,
hindi siguro siya kamahalan compared sa mga like Hermes or
or
Louis
Alexander
Vuitton
McQueen.
or yeah, or McQueen. Pero mahal pa rin
Mm.
kasi kilala na ang Oscar de la Renta na brand. But
Oo.
still, if you can work, yun yung sinabi mo, baka naman hindi kayo talaga nag-source ng bonggang-bongga. Kasi 'di ba may mga theater companies all over the world
Yes.
perhaps, or even in the US, that have that may have uh accurate, or if not close to accurate, period pieces
Mm.
na alam mo yun, na magagamit nila or mare-rent nila.
Yes.
Pero Diyos
Ah,
ko naman, the mere fact na ito pa lang.
lalamigin. Pupulmonyahin si
Parang
Mary.
imaginein mo na ganyan yung suot niya in
Oo.
the Tudor court. Now, what do you think will the people in the court would call her, considering she's already revealed, like, I mean, hubad na yan sa kanila eh.
Yeah,
'Di
hubad na
ba? I
yan.
mean, yeah, kasi revealed yung chest mo, yung shoulders mo, your
Shoulders mo.
arms, and they have very, I don't know how you call that, pero yung mga extra nilang kinakabit na mahaba, 'di ba?
Mm.
Sa mga gowns nila, that is part of how women dressed during that time.
Yes, 'di ba? Tsaka ano, parang tsaka during that time malamig-lamig, 'di ba? Hindi ba siya giniginaw?
True that.
Eh,
Totoo
yun
'yan,
lang.
totoo
Yun
'yan.
lang yung ano ko, yun lang naman ang reaction namin diyan. Maganda yung dress, don't get us wrong, it's nice. Yun
Mhm.
lang. Ang sinabi nga, I think one of our friends said, "Ay, historically inaccurate pala. So siguro better na wag ko na lang basahin yung real story behind it para ma-enjoy ko siya."
Mm.
Ang sa'kin, I think my response was, there's nothing wrong watching those things, but it's also good to find out what really happened. Kasi that's where, tama yung sinabi ni, ni Professor Abet Ocampo, never stop being curious. 'Di ba?
Mm, mm.
Kasi you will be surprised that maybe mas interesting pa yung madi-discover mo na kung ano talaga yung nangyari compared to what they were showing on this particular TV series. Kasi parang they really made it um very, not even teeny boppy, kasi there is sex, there is scandal and everything. So it's not really for teenagers. 'Di
Mm.
ba? Parang it's more of bodies ripping na kind of raunchy. I, uh, honestly, it's, if you watch series like this, and there are, of course, syempre nangyari na yan noon pa. We don't really know if what really happened. That's why some of the writers take liberties to fill in the gaps. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But of course, dapat medyo ano din naman, do your research. Is it aligned to what eyewitnesses were saying about this particular person and so on? Yun lang yun sa akin. Pero talaga, I tried watching this ha. I tried. I tried. I really did. Ti- Gusto ko talagang tapusin the whole, yun, go, 'di ba? Talagang itodo ko lahat, panoorin ko lahat, pero hindi ko talaga kaya. Alam mo yung parang, nood ako. Skip, skip, skip,
Skip.
skip, 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 skip. Ang redeeming quality lang dito ha, was the actress who was playing Catherine de Medici, Megan Follows. Hi! She was the only one
Saving grace.
saving grace of the show. Si Megan Follows who played Catherine de Medici. She was a great actress. Siya lang. Siya lang, yun lang. Yun.
Yun lang.
Yun lang. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Alam ko ito, mas gusto natin to. Yun lang. Ayan.
Oh, ayan. So dito na we're moving on na sa next sa next series
Mm.
na nakokomenta namin ni Cleo. So we are now moving on to the Tudors. So earlier it was Mary Queen of Scots, which is she has still something to do with the Tudor dynasty. Eventually, she lost her head, and yung sino yung nag-sign ng death warrant niya, it was her cousin. Tama ba ako?
Yes,
Her
cousin.
cousin, Queen Elizabeth II. And she
The first name.
history
Ah,
actually wrote na she wore a a red dress, a
yes.
scarlet hued dress when she
Mm-hmm.
died. So
Oo,
yeah.
kasi that was the color of martyrs.
Yes. So sa kanya, sa isip niya, si Mary, Queen of Scots, she was martyred. Okay,
Oo,
so
she was.
ayan.
Yeah, okay. So that Tudors na tayo. This is, seriously, I love this show. I know there are historical inaccuracies, pero I love this show. Ikaw?
Oo naman, mas gusto ko siya, and if you're gonna ask me if kaya ko siyang stomach ulit panoorin, oo naman.
Oo, ako
Kasi
din.
number one, the mas ano siya mas close. Although marami rin siyang historical inaccuracies, kahit
Mhm.
papaano bumawi naman sila sa, yan, yung roster naman ng actors.
Ay, totoo yan.
And I remember the actress who played Queen Catherine of Aragon, ano siya, recently ko siya napanood in the Outlander series. So
Ay,
she
nandun
she
siya?
yes, and medyo may edad. She plays an aged woman there. So kaya ko
Oh,
siya naalala. So
I
I
like
was
her.
figuring out, sabi ko
Mm-mm.
napanood ko na tong artistang to eh. Hindi ko lang maalala until it dawned on me, tama, she's Queen Catherine of
Mm-mm.
Aragon in the Tudors. So yan.
Yeah.
So sabi ko sa'yo earlier na I was a little bit taken aback. So, hindi kagad ako na immerse or na pull in ng
Mhm.
series na to the first time that I saw it. So, pero talagang na-excite ako na I saw the Tudors. Oh my God. So, ayan. Pero kasi, nung nakita ko si Jonathan Rhys Meyers, parang sabi ko, ay, ayoko na.
Mm-mm.
Kasi, Henry's known to be a lot more bigger, taller, a lot more charismatic. Hindi ko
Yeah.
makita
Kay
hindi ko
Jonathan.
makita. Oo, hindi ko makita talaga. So
Mm.
parang naalatan ako. Kaya hindi ko muna siya talaga kagad
Ah.
inupuan. Oo.
Okay. I like him. I mean, I think he's a great actor. Talagang very, ano siya. Ang gusto ko sa portrayal niya of Henry was yung
Intense
mga,
siya.
yung moments of rage niya.
Oo,
Yun
yan,
yung,
yan, yan.
yun ang ganda
Kuha.
ng, at kuhang-kuha niya talaga yung mga moments of rage.
Mm-mm.
And siya, of course, si Papa Henry Cavill before he was Superman. Ayan.
Siya sana
Before
yung mas bagay eh.
Before ay, yun nga ang sabi, mas bagay nga daw na naging, Henry sana si sabi ni Kip, sabi ni
Oo,
Kip. Hi,
oo,
Kip,
oo.
ayun.
So,
Sabi
oo
ni
nga, siya
Kip,
nga yung mas bagay.
yeah, kasi but that time kasi he was pretty much an unknown actor, eh,
Oo.
'di ba? Tsaka
Correct. Hindi pa siya
tsaka
sikat.
'di ba, bago pa siya naging si Superman at si Geralt ng The Witcher, he
Mm.
was Charles Brandon, Duke of Suffolk sa The Tudors.
Yeah, yeah, he was that guy in the Tudors, and prior to that, the first time my eyes saw him the first time was in the Count of Monte
Ay, oo,
Cristo. He
The
was the
Count of Monte
son
Cristo. Oh, 'di
of
ba?
the actor Jim Caviezel there,
Ah, ah,
and
ah, ah.
sobrang totoy pa niya doon. My God,
Oo, tingnan mo naman siya ngayon, 'di ba?
sobrang
'Di ba?
nag-blossom na.
Oo, and yeah.
May
And
meme ako
nga,
nakita niyan.
alin yung Happy Father's Day?
Oo.
Yung nag-send noon?
'Di ba? Sabi ko nung
Nag-send
una ko
nun sa'yo?
nakita, sabi ko, "Ha? Sabi ko, anong kinalaman ni Henry
Oo.
Cavill dito?" Tapos nung binasa ko, oh my God, tawang-tawa ako.
Kasi he's our papa.
Oh, but Henry Cavill can be my daddy anytime.
Yeah, he can be
Tawang-tawa ako.
ready anytime, o 'di ba? Ano ba 'to, Leon? 'Di ba? Sabi ko sa'yo, yan nga ano, kaya he's really gone a long way, 'di ba? And of course,
Oo,
Natalie Dormer as
mm,
Anne Boleyn, I think she did a great
bagay.
job. Bagay talaga. I mean,
Correct.
she's very versatile. We saw her in Game of Thrones. She was so good there. And talagang ginalingan talaga ni ate.
And
Yun.
yung
So,
isa pang artista dito na
hindi kita marinig na wala audio mo ni. O ako yun.
sorry,
Ayan. Ayan.
ayun, yung isa na sa nagalingan ako is the guy who played Thomas Cromwell.
Ay, si James Frayne.
Yes, and also of course, well, the guy who played uh who's this priest? What's his name again?
Woolsey.
Yeah, Cardinal Wolsey. So ayan,
Yeah.
si Sam Neill siya, 'di ba?
Yeah, and Sam Neill, yeah. So
Oh, yan.
the roster of
Galing.
actors were really good sa ano to,
Mm.
sa casting pa lang ang galing na. Parang sa like what you've
Kitang-kita
said.
mo yung ano eh, kitang-kita, hindi ko makalimutan dito yung fall to grace ni ano,
Yan.
yung fall to grace ni sorry, yung fall to grace ni Cardinal.
Ay, oo, 'di ba? Oh, help you? What do you want help for? Ayan, so ito yung kaya 'di ba ko sige, simulan na natin yung una nating historical inaccuracy.
Go.
Okay. So, teka, ito na naman. Ano tayo niya? Ayan. So, first historical inaccuracy, Henry had one sister. In reality, he had two, Mary and Margaret. So, kaya daw nila, dito sa series, ginawan lang isa lang. Ang pangalan, Margaret. Totoo naman may
Mm,
kapatid siyang pangalan, Margaret. But Margaret
correct.
was sent to Scotland to marry the King of Scots. So, may isa pa siyang kapatid, si Mary. Ito naman yung pinadala sa France to become queen. Pero sa series, siguro parang baka malito daw yung mga tao kasi may anak si Henry, pangalan Mary. So, gawin lang natin Margaret para hindi malito ang tao. Yun daw ang reason. Pero totoo, he had two sisters. Si Mary and
Oo.
Margaret. Yun.
Pero kasi ang lumabas dito, sino ba ang pinakasalan ni Margaret dito? Yung King of France, 'di ba?
Pero dun sa ano, in reality, si Mary yung nagpakasal sa
Oo.
King of France. Pero in the Tudors, si Margaret daw married the King of Portugal, not
Ayun.
France.
Oo. So ayan din, kalituhan din 'yan nung
Mm-mm.
ano.
Yeah, so ang
So
totoo
sabi
niyan
ko,
talaga.
ha, ano ba talaga nung pinapanood ko 'to? Sabi ko, totoo ba 'to? Eh, well, I didn't bother to check, but I knew there was something inaccurate. Kasi una sa lahat, sabi ko, sino si Margaret? Eh, mas aware ako dun sa Mary eh.
Oo, yung
So
kay
sabi
Mary.
ko, sino tong ano, sabi ko, they're talking about the other sister. Pero
Mm.
sabi ko, Portugal, sabi ko parang may something
Oo.
off. Pero ang alam ko talaga, there was a part. I think it was between um Mary and Henry decided na, o sige, pag nabiyuda ka, pwede kang pumili kung sino yung pakakasalan
Yes.
mong susunod.
That's
Yon.
true. That's true. Totoo yun. Yung parang, kasi nga, in reality, Mary was, okay, Henry's sister Mary, paano yung matutulong ng tao? Henry's sister Mary was sent to France to marry the King of France. Eh kaso, matanda na nga yung King of France. So sinabi ni Mary, o sige, pag nategi itong asawa ko, dapat yung ako napipili sa susunod kong mapapangasawa, which Henry agreed to. Pero syempre, as we know, Henry would never honor his promise. Kaya si Mary ended up marrying Charles Brandon, yung best friend
Yes.
ni Henry.
Oo, parang one of his trusted friends.
Oh.
And somehow dito sa correct me if I'm wrong, pero dito
Mm-mm.
sa series na to parang hindi nagustuhan ni Henry.
Mm-mm. Which is true naman, hindi talaga niya nagustuhan kasi he felt it was a betrayal. So, nangyari, hindi sila muna pinauwi ng England kasi natatakot sila kasi nga alam nila magagalit. Pero when they went home, they were fined. They had to pay Henry a certain amount of money
Oo.
for a couple of years.
So ayan,
Oo, and they were, and
parusa ganyan.
parusa, and hindi sila welcome sa court. But
Mm.
eventually, he forgave them.
Nag-mellow down din naman
He
yung
forgave.
emotions.
Oo. Tsaka kasi ano mas close si Henry kay Mary, kaya I think it was easier for him to forgive her. Yun.
Right.
Okay. So let's go to and I also like this actress. Magaling siya.
Mukha lang siyang bungo for me.
Kasi maybe
And saka sa
ano,
totoo lang, gigil na gigil ako kasi ang dami nilang intimate scenes ni Henry Cavill. Sabi ko, no.
nagsiselos ka lang.
Sabi ko, no.
Nagsiselos ka lang. Kasi,
Totoo, sabi ko, ang swerte ni ate.
oo, may kachorlahan niya si Henry Cavill. Oh, 'di ba? Okay, etong cute ng batang ite. So, you want to read this? Yan.
So, Henry Fitzroy died young. In reality, he died at the age of 17, probably of tuberculosis. So, sino si Henry Fitzroy?
Si Henry Fitzroy ang anak sa labas ni Henry dun sa lady-in-waiting ni Catherine of Aragon. Yun.
Si Bessie Blount ba to?
Oo, si Bessie Blount. Oo, yun yung anak niya si Henry Fitzroy. Sa series kasi, pinakita nila na namatay na maaga yung bata. It, it,
Oo
it,
nga.
I think it was one of those heart-wrenching scenes na
Oo.
maliit kasi, bata pa
Mm.
eh. Diba? Ay naku, ay Nengon, nag-iiyak ako doon kasi nga bata, 'di ba? Pero ang totoo, he grew up to be a teenager. He also got married. Pero yun nga, nategi din siya na maaga. Kasi that time, ang tuberculosis, wala pa talaga siyang cure. Kaya ang mortality rate talaga noon is very high. Okay.
Right.
Diba? Very high. Pero hindi talaga siya, yung, um, is it consumption? The consumption ng tawag nila nun sa
Oo.
tuberculosis. Ayan. Unlike today, pwede nang ma-cure ang tuberculosis. Alright. Next one. Okay.
Next is,
Uh,
oh, okay.
Sige. Henry did not seem old and fat when he married Catherine Howard. In reality, he was in his 50s and overweight. Yon. So,
Yes.
syempre, ang gwapo ni Jonathan Rhys Meyers
Oh,
para
parang ano yan,
i-imagine siya.
parang ang ginawa lang nila, oh sige, let's make him look mature. Okay, grow him a beard and a
Lagyan
mustache.
ng
Oh,
konting gray
tiyanan!
hair. Lagyan ng konting gray hair. Ayan, tumanda na si Henry. So, 'di ba? Pero kasi in reality, talagang lumaki na talaga. This was after his jousting accident na he
Yeah,
really gained
oo.
a lot of weight na hindi na siya nakakapag-exercise. Tapos pinakasalan niya si Kitty Howard. Pero
Oo.
he was really big. Kaya nga sabi nila, yung mga babae daw, sometimes they have to really control themselves kasi mabaho yung
Sugat.
sugat. Yan. Pero si Kitty Howard, talagang in-endure niya. Yon.
Kasi she's very ambitious.
Mm, yeah, very ambitious. But I really think she she was also used by powerful men around her.
Oo,
Yeah.
ano siya eh. She came from the Howard clan, and we very well know the Boleyns and the Howards are connected or are
Mm-mm.
related. So hindi
Yes.
na nakakagulat na ganun din ang kanyang drive, same as
Yes.
what Anne Boleyn had. But
Mm-mm.
yun nga, tama ka, dapat malaki na talaga dito si Henry, bilugan na yung mukha niya. He
Mm-mm.
was overweight, and yun nga, yung inconsistent swings niya sa emotions nagse-start
Yeah.
na dito.
Oo. Sabi nga nila 'di ba, and I think until now it's being debated na nagkaroon siya na because of the fall
The
from
fall,
the
oo.
horse that would have been the cause of his change in
Oo.
personality. I think it's still being debated until now. Yun.
Yeah, kahit na meron ako napanood na documentary about this, I think si who's this historian that's there? Our favorite short blonde hair,
Not Helen
blonde
Castor.
no, it's not Helen Castor. Yung host
Ah,
ng Empire of the Chars.
ayan, I forgot her name, pero alam ko like natin siya. It will
Ah,
come to us. Darating din yan.
ah,
Kaya naalala
so
ko yun.
ano,
Oo.
so siya yung si Lucy Worsley, yon. She was part of the
Ayun.
investigative team who looked into the health concerns that Henry encountered throughout his lifetime. So
Mm-mm.
it's on YouTube if you can check that one out. It's a very
Sige.
nice one then.
Mm-mm. Okay. Next one. Okay. You can.
Okay. So all right. Catherine Parr really looks young here. Was middle aged when she married Henry. In reality, she wasn't even 30 when she married him. So, ayan.
Ano na siya? Ang sabi matanda na daw si. Sa series, medyo pinatanda siya. Si
Pero
Catherine.
kung mukha siyang bata para sa akin na.
Ah,
Kung
talaga?
pinagmukha siyang middle age. Yeah, and Catherine Parr wasn't even 30 when she married him. Parang, di mukhang matured si Catherine dun sa paintings na nakikita ko. Kasi,
Siguro, oo.
oo, usually naiisip ko kasi she's like mid-30s when she married Henry,
Mm.
hindi pala. So, yan.
So she was younger and she was widowed several times already bago sila nagpakasal. Yeah. Sabi yun yung ano
'Di
doon. Isa rin siya sa mga wives na talagang hindi masyadong binibigyan ng pansin. Pero
Pero she's very smart, intelligent. She
oo.
wrote a book.
Mm-mm. First,
And
a first
it
published
yeah, a published book by a
published
woman.
woman in her own name ha.
Mm.
Kaya she was very impressive. Okay, yung susunod na.
Okay,
Ito.
yan na. So last 15 minutes na natin.
Oo. So, ito very recent lang siya. It's the title is very simple, Anne Boleyn.
Mhm.
Naging controversial siya because the producers decided to cast a non-Caucasian actress to play Anne. And of course, we all know how Anne looks like. 'Di ba? So, ako medyo skeptical ako when I first heard about this. Kasi, for the longest time, sino-sino ba yung mga naging Anne Boleyn? Helena Bonham Carter,
Oo. Oo, si
Claire
Natalie
Foy,
Portman.
Natalie
Oo,
Portman, Natalie Dormer. So, it was a little bit, talaga? Pero I gave it a
correct.
shot. I gave it a shot.
Okay.
Na-curious din kasi ako. In fairness, magaling talaga siya yung actress. As an actress, she was really good, hands down. Jodie Turner-Smith. Pero, like, parang you were pulled away from that period. Kasi, nasanay ka na nga na ganun. Tapos, like what Kip said din again, during that time, hindi inclusive ang Tudor society with colored people. So, why? 'Di ba? Bakit? Or maybe the purpose is to be more colorblind, kumbaga. Yung hindi ka tumitingin sa skin tone ng actress but you are looking for titingnan mo kung gaano kagaling yung artista to portray a certain role. But then again, it fell a little bit flat for me. But in terms of acting, she was really good. I really find her um yung yung uh, yung mga side looks ni Anne, I think she got it. Yung pagiging smug ni Anne, I think she got it. Arrogant was also there, pero it just
Pero
didn't do for me.
so ikaw pa naman yung inaasa. Well, hindi na ako na-surprise dun sa reaction mo na hindi mo mafe-feel na talagang si Anne yung pinapanood mo.
Mm-mm.
Kasi nga, nandun na yung distracted ka na sa reality na na-pick up mo ever since na
Yeah.
that's not the color of her skin. So that can't be
Mm-mm.
Anne. Kahit na
Mm-mm.
na-assume ni actress, ni Jodie, yung smugness, yung mga side eyes, side eye ni Anne, and yung nga yung kamalditahan niya, hindi mo
Oo.
pa rin ma-embrace talaga na, oh, this is really Anne, or the Anne Boleyn that I've known from the various documentaries and the books that I've read, and the shows that I've watched, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi number one is yung closeness, kasi I think is number one.
Mm-mm.
Talagang yung pagiging accurate ng character yung number one talaga, na
Mm-mm.
mado ka talaga dun sa
Totoo.
sa show na pinapanood mo. Tulad ni
Mm-mm.
ano ba 'to? Um, Yun nga, nung una, yun balik ulit tayo dun sa favorite ko kasi na Jose Rizal. Okay, si Cesar Montano yung bida dun, 'di ba?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Okay, nung una medyo ano pa ako, eh, sabi ko ba't parang
Skeptical
masyadong
ka pa.
matangkad. Oo, matangkad si Cesar, eh,
Mm-mm.
for Jose Rizal. Pero because of, his similarity, nakuha nila kahit papaano
Mm-mm.
yung face. Yun na-draw na ako, and then eventually sobrang ano, kasi ang galing ng production, lahat,
Yeah.
kuhang-kuha yung costume design, ultimo sa pinaka mga karetela, ganyan. Ang
Oo, oo.
galing. So talagang perfect yung movie for me. So, and also by far yung I haven't really seen Anne of a Thousand Days,
Mm-mm.
na alam ko binigyan mo ako ng CD nun, but I
Oo,
lost it
binigyan kita.
unfortunately. Pero so far kasi, kung tatanungin mo ako sino talaga yung epitome ko ng na si Anne Boleyn, I can't think of anything, but si Natalie Portman talaga, she was pretty good dun sa other Boleyn girl. Na
Mm-mm.
kung iisipin ko kung ganun talaga si Anne, she got it. She was able to really assume who Anne was based from what I've read, what I've seen. So, yun. So, si Jodie, parang visual pa lang, lost na eh.
Mm-mm.
So,
'Di ba?
mahirap. Oh,
Yeah,
ayan.
although she was really a very good actress, yun nga yun, we can't deny that. Ayan. So
Yeah.
let's read the first one. So ang ano daw, according to the show, Anne and Henry threw a party 24 hours after Catherine of Aragon's death.
Mm.
Ang totoo, yes, they did celebrate,
Yeah.
pero not 24 hours after na
Oo,
pagkamatay ng
hindi
tao.
naman.
Hindi
Hindi
naman.
naman. Pero they did that talaga.
They did that. They did that. They privately mourned and they also celebrated, but later on, hindi directly after pagkamatay ni ate, ay
And
celebrate sila.
another thing na I noticed here, nakasuot ng yellow si Anne.
Yes, nakasuot siya.
Which was, yeah, what's written in the books and what's mentioned in documentaries, na nagdilaw
Mm-mm.
nga daw si
Uh-uh.
Anne nung nag-celebrate.
Yeah, even in the Tudors, Natalie Dormer also wore yellow when she played Anne. Kasi daw, and again, they think this is also still being debated. Ang yellow daw was the color of mourning in Spain, but again, that's not really sure. Yun. Anyway, though, I don't know, but yun. But then, again, it's
Mhm.
really pretty accurate then according to
Yeah.
eyewitnesses. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, let me just pull it up. Medyo nagbabagal siya eh. Ayan.
Yan.
Yan, okay. Ah, my God. Yun. So,
Ayan. Okay.
okay, why don't you
So,
want to read this? Yeah.
sure. Anne tried to reconcile with Mary. So, Mary
Mm-hmm.
here is um, Bloody Mary. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So, the
Bloody
daughter of
Mary.
Catherine Aragon and Henry the Eighth.
Mm-mm.
So,
Mm-mm.
mostly true, but it is unclear if Anne offered to be a second mother to Mary. So, I agree to this one, with this one.
Mm-mm. Totoo. I think more of ano siya, I think tinreten niya muna si Mary bago siya makipag-reconcile. I think that's more of her personality eh, di ba? Na if I don't get what I want, dadaan kita sa threats and so on. So that's why siguro isa rin sa mga reasons kung bakit nagkapikunan sila ni Thomas Cromwell. Kaya I think somehow the show has some truths in it, but there are also some creative liberties. Pero most of I feel again, most of the stuff they showed there were true. Yun, kasi nga, one of their consultants was Dan Jones, who was one of the historians in Britain. So I think pretty reliable naman. Yun lang talaga, medyo na ano lang,
Surprising.
na-surprise lang ako sa casting.
Mm.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one. I think this one is, ito talaga ano, ito marami ako nababasa about this.
Mm.
Yan. Anne walks in on Jane Seymour and Henry's lap and had a miscarriage. It's true, but she did not miscarry right away. It was also shown in the Tudors with Natalie Dormer as Anne na nahuli daw ni Anne na nakakandong si Jane,
Mm.
which really happened. Pero ang sabi pa ng ibang chismosa, dun kasi sa series, sinampal ni Anne si Jane tapos ni-yank yung necklace na bigay ni Henry. Pero hindi
Mm.
totoong nangyari yun during that moment. Nangyari yun sa ibang moment, ibang ibang time. Na kasi
Oo.
si Henry was very openly courting Jane when during that time. So binigyan niya ng locket si Jane, and si Jane daw para siguro inisin si Anne, sinasara bukas niya yung locket niya in her presence. So nabuisit si ate, sinampal siya. Nagkaroon ng altercation,
Ok.
pero there was no altercation when they were uh, when she when she caught Jane on Henry's
Mm.
lap. Yon.
Pero
Yeah.
parang ano naman 'di ba, parang if you're Anne, magugulat ka ba na your husband is openly courting someone when in fact he basically did that with you while he was married to another,
Yeah.
'di ba?
Oo. Eh, parang sabi nga nila 'di ba ng mga books nga ay, Henry adored her when she was a mistress, but when she became the wife, naging nagger si ate. It the the
Oo.
the novelty wore off kumbaga, 'di ba?
Oo, oo, correct.
'Di ba? Yun lang. Pero totoo na marami ako napanood din na ganun, eh, na nahuli na so I think naman yung miscarriage ni Anne hindi lang naman dahil lang doon. I think also other reasons for stress
Issues or
niya, oo. Kaya rin siya
correct.
na ano
Eh,
na miscarry.
ikaw ba naman hindi ka stress na kailangan mo magluwal ng lalaki, 'di ba? Para maging safe ka, hindi ka ba stress niyan?
'Di ba nakaka-stress? Kaya I feel really kung kaso kasi at that time di nila alam na ang nagde-determine ng gender isang lalaki.
Correct, oo.
Na, 'di
Lahat
ba?
kasi nakasisi sa babae since ang main role
Oo.
mo as a woman that during that era was to actually bear, you know,
Mm.
a son, bear children rather.
Yeah. So ayan, I'll just show you some other photos that I was able to gather
Mhm.
from this series. Bago lang siya guys, 3 episodes lang siya. So natapos
Sa
siya
mini-series.
yeah. So it aired in itong June and tapos na siya. So 3 episodes lang siya. Ayan.
Mhm.
Even the
Lady in
even the
Waiting.
the lady in waiting in this one is Anne's cousin. Kaya siguro nila ginawa nilang woman of color. Pero na-turn off ako kasi yung uncle nila puti. Sana ginawa na
Asa na
lang nila sana ginawa na nilang
yung
consistent, 'di ba?
oo, hindi na yun consistent na parang ano, pinalalabas mo na sino yung ampon diyan,
Yeah, oo. Sino
'di ba?
ipakita ko sa iyo, teka, but I think I have to go back a little bit. Wait ha.
Yeah.
Hanapin ko siya, pakita ko kung sino yung uncle. Doon ako na parang, ay, okay. Sabi ko, ay, sana ginawa na lang nilang consistent. Kasi yung guy playing her brother, George, was of color din eh.
Okay.
Oo. Pero ito yung uncle. Teka, asan ba si uncle? Ito si uncle.
Oh, okay.
O, diba? So, hindi talaga siya hindi siya naging
Accurate,
consistent.
oo.
Oh.
Hindi nga
So,
naman consistent.
so ano ba ang so what is the downs, ano ba ang gusto namin iparating dito ni Shops sa mga period dramas? Ikaw, what's your take talaga on
Ako,
accuracy
if
when
you
it comes to
sa akin kasi what very important ang accuracy, especially if you're basing it on on na especially if you're portraying someone na historic, na kilala. So, let's say for example, o gawan mo ng kwento yung buhay ni Pinoy,
Mm.
rest in peace.
Oo.
Hindi mo pipiliin na yung bida, walang salamin or
Mm,
alam mo yun,
mm.
or hindi mukhang chinito, or let's say makapal yung buhok. Kasi una sa lahat, mawawala na ng interest yung
Oo.
manonood nun kasi yung 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 accuracy pa lang nung mukha nung
Mm.
bida, malayo na dun sa totoong tao. So at the end of the day, it's very important that you really don't veer completely away from the facts,
Yeah,
'di ba?
that's right. Kasi there's an parang yun nga you're trying to pull people into that period of time or into that part of history. Tapos if you do something else, just okay, I just want to make it more interesting. There's nothing wrong making things interesting. Pero
Kasi
at
that's the
least think
story itself. The
think
lives of
through.
these people are already interesting enough. So, sa akin, like, siguro I'd say we're not sort of purist. We really are purist. Kasi for us to really, for our attentions to be held by a series or by a film, kailangan
Mm-mm.
parehong-pareho kung ano man yung nabasa natin. So, just
So
imagine
purist
kung
talaga tayo.
kung yung Harry Potter, alam mo yun, kung si McGonagall, hindi katulad nung ni Dame Maggie Smith. Parang may something na kulang na parang hahanapin natin.
Mm, that's right. That's right. I totally agree. So that being said, I we hope na medyo na nagustuhan niyo yung pag-share namin ng aming thoughts. This has been a long time coming. I have to admit. Kasi we've been talking about it for years. Pero
Years.
years. So it's good that we really did this already. 'Di ba? So
Yeah.
nasabi na ni Shops yung mga gusto kong sabihin at nailabas ko na lahat ng gusto kong ilabas.
Oh, and dun sa mga na ma-offend man, or
Mm.
who would feel bad, we apologize. But
Yeah, we
then again,
apologize.
different strokes for different folks. We through this episode, we've established, Cleo and I, that we really are purist when it comes to history.
Mhm.
So if that's a crime, then sue
Sorry,
us.
I'm sorry.
Diba?
Pero I'm sorry. Again, I'm all for creative liberty and all that
Oo
stuff.
naman.
But at least there should be a little bit of basis for that. Kumbaga.
Yes.
Yun. Okay. So before we leave, again, we just want to leave you with the usual. History is
Yeah.
not boring. It's part
It's part
of the
of the
fiber of our
fiber of our
existence.
existence. Tandaan natin, wala tayong saysay kung walang kasaysayan. So all of this, if you're thinking it doesn't make any sense, if you look a little deeper, you would understand why we love history. I mean, we can talk about this the whole day or a month. Wala kami pakialam.
Wala kaming pakialam. Yeah, but the thing
Correct.
is, iba, it's tama may sinabi si Sir Ambit Ocampo na history doesn't repeat itself. It's the people who
Oh,
continuously do what they did before or what other people did before. So dapat we learn something from the past and apply
mhm,
it to the
mhm.
present. Ayun. So, ayun. So, with
That's
that
true.
said, thank you so much for your time sa mga nanood. Maraming salamat po. And keep safe.
Keep
Uh,
safe, and hopefully I get vaccinated in the next days.
that's right. Ako sa Sabado na next week.
So, ayan.
Ayun.
So, do your own, kemerot with the checks that you need before you jump into
Mm-mm.
that. So, good luck, friend.
Salamat, girl. Okay, so thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shops. Ingat kayo dyan palagi. And hopefully, we see
Thank
everybody
you.
again sa next broadcast.
Yes.
Bye!
Bye.